All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honor to my apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the Israelites that are scattered amongst the heathen, we refer to them as the Israelite foreigners. All right, Yahweh is the name of the Most High, Yahweh Shai. That's the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which we hate to say the name Christ, but that's what the world knows him as. All right. It's gonna be a quick news update. All right. I got an article from CNN.com. All right, I want to touch on it briefly. All right. I'm gonna read the title. It says Israel strikes Hezbollah in response to rocket fire and most significant flare-up of tensions since ceasefire. Right, so the Israelis and Hezbollah, which is, controlled by the Iranian, that's a proxy army for Iran. Okay, they had a ceasefire because there's been constant tension between the Palestinians, which is backed by Iran, and then you got the Israelis, which is backed by America. Okay, so now what you see going on is, that ceasefire is being done away with. Okay, so they're starting to, as you see in the title, Israel strikes Hezbollah in response to rocket fire. All right, so it says the Israeli Air Force says it struck Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon in response to cross-border rocket fire in the most significant flare-up of tensions since a ceasefire brought an easy calm to the region. Okay, no need to read further on because you get the memo, man. These are two heathen nations according to the Bible. All right, the Israelis, which goes back to the Edomites. All right, because they're not the children of Israel. They're calling themselves the Israelis. All right, we call them the big nose small hats. All right, because they claim to be the people of the Most High, which they are not. Okay, and what proves that is what's going on in the Holy Land. If you were the people of the Most High, there wouldn't be no destruction in the Holy Land. There would be peace in the Middle East. Okay? And, you got the Iranians, which are primarily the Persians or the Elamites. Okay? The Elamites, according to the Bible. Okay? Then you got the Palestinians, which is basically a compilation of different those Middle Eastern nations. All right, you might have Ishmael up in there, you might have the Midian up in there, you might have the Syrians up in there, you might have Elam, you got Elam up in there, and so forth and so on, man. Okay, let's get Isaiah 9 verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Right, so World War III is going to be a war that is going to be fought different from the wars before it in history. All right, the ancient world wars. All right, it was consisted of bow and arrows, shield and buckler, like they show you in the movies, man. Okay. One thing Esau likes to do, he likes to make a lot of Dark Ages or the Middle Ages types of movies, and they show you how they fought, shield and buckler, bow and arrow, okay, for the most part. All right, even in times before that was like the thing, having the armor, using swords, okay, so forth and so on, man. King David had a slingshot, man. So that shows you how they got down in the ancient world. And now, fast forward to 2025. Now you got sniper rifles. You got all these different advanced weapons, man. You know, you got guns, which this is really talking about the ICBMs, which is the acronym for Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles. But we talking about, the advancement of military weapons of war. You know, we can't skip talking about the advancement of guns, which we know that sniper rifles, those are very deadly weapons. All right, and then you got different types of guns, like different power based upon the bullets, man. Okay, which I'm not a gun specialist, but I'm just giving an example of the advancement of weapons, all right, per se. But really, it's talking about the burning and fuel of fire is talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear missiles, because these missiles that have been created, they're going to be used. They were created to be used. Okay. So I'm done. I'm done with that. I guess I'll get one more, and then be on my way out of here. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly." All right, so this is going into World War II, which is the second woe. It said the second woe is past. All right, and then it says, "Behold, the third woe coming quickly." Right, this is World War III, the third woe, man. All right, woe means lamentation. All right, and part of lamentation is that destruction. Okay, Most High is going to cause massive destruction. All right, and we're seeing the Edomites' kingdom crumble before their eyes, man. We're seeing allies betray each other or come against each other. We're seeing inflation. We're seeing job losses. We're seeing they don't want to say a recession or depression. They just want to act like everything is okay when it's not. Okay, we're seeing the powers that be, which is the so-called Illuminati, which are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the small hats. All right, they want to move on with this new world order. All right, they want to do away with the Federal Reserve Note, which is a U.S. dollar, and they want to bring about this new system, which is composed of, the main goal is to get everybody C-hipped. All right, get everybody implanted with that C-hip, but they want to start up. That's the ultimate plan. But there's talks about a CB, a central bank digital currency. There's talks about our monetary system becoming digital. Okay, what proves that is they're doing away with Metro cards. Okay, everything is becoming digitalized. All right, so you get the memo, man. We at that time, man. So keep your eyes open, watch, as well as pray, fast, and keep the faith. To those that are, to those that it applies to. So with that.